Testing, 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 testing. Okay. How we looking? How we feeling? How we doing today? Tonight. Trying to make sure everything sounds good. Do one last check. But before we get into it, how are you doing today? Are you having a phenomenal night? I did a late stream last stream I did. Seemed to do decent. So, hey, I had a busy day. Was recording, doing some other stuff, getting ready for a trip. So I could only really get to streaming now, and I'm still gonna again crank out a bunch of recordings. I'm gonna be going for a while. Y'all not gonna be able to notice it because there will be videos. If you watch the live stream though, you'll already see it because you're gonna watch me record these videos today. We got a large docket, of stuff. Now I wasn't even trying to make a Shedeur video, but a Shedeur video came upon me. Shedeur was out there in OT7 supporting Robert Griffin III's team. So I think that's an interesting thing to at least talk about and speak about the relationship between him and the former Browns quarterback Rg3. So we are going to get into that. Rg3 was extremely vocal during the draft process and also throughout his career in general. So even though I'm not a big Rg3 guy, I think it's important to look at what's going on. My man, the Not Glazer. Hey, my man Michael Aralk, I don't think I said that right, is in here. Tara Durgan says, thank you for your ongoing great content. Thank you so much for being here during my live stream. Don't do them often, but just an interesting time to do it. But yeah, so we're going to probably start there. And then we have Deion'S Sanders, new recruit. We've talked about Jaheim Otis a little bit, and he's somebody who I'm extremely excited about because, for a Colorado team that's missing a lot and trying to look for a new identity, I think the identity might be found in this defensive line. It's very scary. And Jaheim Otis adds not only SEC size, SEC experience, right, on top of that. So I think it's going to be scary. He's actually taking shots at Alabama. First, you had Castellanos taking shots at Alabama. Then you had Jaheim Otis taking shots at Colorado. And I think it's funny because it reminds me of last season when people were taking shots at Deion'S Sanders in Colorado. But we'll get into it when we get into it. Then we got this is going to be really for the live stream. We're going to talk about college football 26, man. If y'all don't know, this channel really got started talking about just college football, the game. I got bored of the game, so I just started talking about college football. And that's how we got here. I don't know how we got here. So, hey, let's go ahead and check in on college football. Again, we're going to hop into that community, see what's going on, and see if y'all are interested in that. Cormani McClain, man. This is going to be like a retrospective / draft. I think it's going to be a cool little timeline to go through, Cormani McClain's start with Deion. And now he's over there at Florida, where it seems like every single week there's like another positive report coming out about Cormani. So we're going to check in with him. And then if you stay, for the whole stream, this is some evergreen content. Talk about Jabril Peppers, man. Y'all, I don't know if you all know about him. I don't know if this is before your time, man. I don't know if it's before your time. Real Oak, love you, dog. Hey, appreciate it. Savage Gala throws a salute. Wasn't happening. For Young Zell, W Content, I appreciate you being here. Believe me, you are very much appreciated. Breezy Gibson, hey, appreciate you appreciating us. Filipino Hawaiian, okay. Unbiased reporting. Oh, well, it gets us there. Okay. I appreciate y'all going crazy in the comments. Y'all already going crazy in the comments. Love to see it. But like I was saying, just to finish introing the content, we got Jabril Peppers, one of my favorite players growing up and watching college football. And I think there's some decent parallels to Travis Hunter, and I think it shows why Travis Hunter is even that much more different because, Jabril Peppers was attempted to be put in the box that I think some people are trying to put Travis Hunter into, right? This one we might get into. This is one of those late ones. You got Shamar Stewart, and you also have Tyler Shug, the second round pick that was drafted before Mr. Shedeur Sanders, have not signed their contracts yet. So this is a ongoing thing this Tyler Shug is a little different. This is about second rounders getting guaranteed money. Shamar Stewart is just about the Bengals being the Bengals. So that's a little different. I'm going to talk about Arch Manning tonight. So don't worry. Got to push my Texas propaganda. People don't believe in the Arch Manning hype. So we're going to talk about that. And I think that's it. Those are all of the things that we have today. Unless my live chat has any opinions, we're probably going to start with RG3 and Shedeur Sanders, mostly because, you know, this is the most recent thing. So live chat, appreciate it. BZ2X, appreciate it. He says, what's up, gang? Deuce Cigarillo says, great sports reporting. I appreciate you appreciating this. But live chat, if y'all have any opinions on these topics, I'm about to pull something else right here. I'm looking away. I cannot see y'all at the moment, chat. But if y'all don't say anything else when I grab this video, we're going to start here with Shedeur. So you got Shedeur, you got Cormani, you got Jaheim Otis out there in Colorado. You got Jabril Peppers, any of those. If not, we're going to start with Shedeur Sanders. So 1 second. I just got to find, I want to find the RG3 video with Mary Kay Cabot. And if I might have to do a Google search for this. Oh, nope, I found it. Oh, wait, nope. That's not right. RG3 had, you know what I'm saying? Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. Here it is. Yeah. All right. Boom. Perfect. I got what I need. Oh, what? Wait. Everybody calm down. Everybody stop freaking out. I found the video. Cool. Mary Kay talking that hot to RG3. All right. Boom. Okay, cool. All right, boys. Anybody opinions? Stand up back to the lines. Okay, so not many opinions. We here, Vlon 3 World. Hey, I think this is my third time seeing Vlon 3 World or Vlone World. Sorry. We here in here. Ian Coleman, the guy. Cormani gonna get blurred by them hurricanes looking good. All right. Live chat is not giving me any opinions, so we're gonna get right into RG3 in the just the nice association with them and them being out there. Do I have the TikTok too? Make sure this works. Sometimes the TikToks be broken. You feel me? All right, let's get right into it. Shedeur Sanders has made it a habit to go ahead and reach out to the youth and support some of the young guys playing football. But interestingly enough, this time showing up to OT7, it wasn't just supporting the young kids. It was also meeting up with a mentor. And it's so interesting. It's just somebody who has been clearly mentoring, clearly walking step by step with Shedeur Sanders, but I didn't even realize it. And it's RG3, somebody whose efforts on the football field were, you know, the backdrop to my childhood. And he was an inspiration and really set a new precedent for the mobile quarterback. And as I got older, I learned that he is just the biggest cornball of all time. And it's not just about his terrible takes on Twitter. It's because he's a cornball in reporting. But that does not mean he's not a good person to guide Shedeur Sanders in an interesting situation. And with his history dealing with not just the Browns, but more importantly, Mary Kay Cabot. So today in this video, we're going to go through a few things. Check out some of the live stream clips from Shedeur Sanders of him showing up on OT7. Hey, by the way, RG3 beat Cam Newton in OT7. And, you know what I'm saying, he was talking that high. I'm sure Cam's going to have a ridiculous hat on. He's going to explain something about that. So just be on the lookout for that. You got some interviews about Shedeur. And then, of course, I want to take y'all throwback to, you know, the pain that RG3 has felt from Mary Kay Cabot, and I think that Shedeur has felt too. So if you're enjoying these videos, man, go ahead and leave a like, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you enjoy football content of any shape, form, or fashion. We are recording this live, so I might stop and look over to my live chat, so don't be thrown off. Just go ahead and make it to the live if you can. But let's hop right into it. Now, I want to start with this. This was March 25th, 2024, right? This is the backdrop to this whole situation when we get into these other interviews, right? This is the almost preamble to what we saw in the draft, right?
Yeah, I mean, the power shift is coming, so everyone needs to buckle up. All these college coaches have been running to the NFL because they're upset that the college players have a little bit more power and a little bit more say. Well, guess what? Those same kids that they're running away from are the ones that are going to be coming up the ranks and coming into the NFL in the next few years. So Deion'S saying that either Shedeur or Travis Hunter should pull are going to pull an Eli doesn't surprise me at all. Look at what's happened this year. Caleb Williams goes to the combine, doesn't do anything except for meetings, doesn't even let the medical teams go out there and look at him because he says they don't need to. Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't do his pro day, doesn't do the combine, doesn't run a 40 because they don't need to. In today's age with the athletes and their mindset, they are empowered. They know that they can control their own narratives. They know that they can be a part of the media while they're still playing. So if the players that are coming up are saying these things and feel this type of way, you're going to see more of them pull an Eli and say, I understand that playing in the NFL is a privilege, but that privilege is earned through my pay or through my play. And the players right now understand that they don't have to do the status quo and they don't have to sit here and answer to whatever they're told to do anymore, because without the players, all of these sports leagues are nothing. This is the player empowerment age, and you're seeing it come into the NFL.
That's exactly right. I mean, there's some of that.
Hey, man, my man Ian Coleman in the live chat said I saw Shedeur and Jeremiah next to each other. Wonder if Barry would draft him or trade the pick so he can find a quarterback in 2019. And just as a side, because I saw this, we was going to talk about this at the end of the video, but my man in the live chat brought it up. I just want to point it out there that there's a possibility that Shedeur Sanders balls out, goes crazy. Now, I do want to point out it's gonna have to be 2027 for this man-child, and I mean man-child as in he's 6'4". He's the best player in college football as a freshman, and he's coming into his sophomore year. He's a dog. So just imagine, give 2 years, let Shedeur get nice, understand the Kevin Stefanski framework, and then you draft this demon. You draft this Julio Jones clone in a lab. Oh my God. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the relationship between RG3. I wanted to show you that video first before listening to this video and then going forward and showing you, then going back to show you what he was doing on draft night. Now, that was 2024. Remember, that was before the season even started for 2024. Now, we can talk about maybe, saying the NFL felt a certain way because clearly Caleb Williams is doing things, everybody else is doing things, and you see this year a lot of players having problems signing contracts. The Shamar Stewart situation, the Shedeur Sanders fall that inevitably had to only do with off the field stuff, and the worst thing he's done is drive fast cars too fast, right? So, but besides all that, we'll get deeper into that, but. Again, RG3 noticing and already sticking up for not just Shedeur Sanders, but the Sanders name. And this is what Shedeur had to say about RG3.
Then I seen RG3 team out here, so I said, yeah, I got to come see them. I was in the area.
No, RG3, he told me that you guys have worked together a little bit, talked a little bit. What's it been like? What's that relationship like?
It's definitely like a big brother for sure. He lets me know when I'm wrong, when I'm right, what I need to do. Pros, cons about everything with the quarterback position and what I need to know.
And obviously, I think you probably have a lot of connections to different people in the NFL who have done it before, like RG3. Do you try to keep that advice to like a smaller group, or you kind of listen to everyone? How's that work?
Nah, it's definitely, you definitely have to have discernment when it comes to everything, but it's more natural.
These camera angles
the
are kind of
advice
nasty.
I get, it come from a natural place, from people that I always talk to or that always been there for me.
And I guess it's interesting to wonder if Tom Brady is on that list of people that was already talked about. Obviously, the text message XYZ, but I think it's very interesting to note that RG3 was of that list, right? And I think that we haven't really talked about it a lot, maybe, but clearly RG3 was very vocal about it. Here he is, just showing up. He was actually on a Twitch live stream. Hey, they need to, somebody, Kai CNAT, Aiden Ross, Speed, wherever you streamer, son. Y'all need to get you got all right, but clearly you can see this on a potato. Can somebody get Shedeur Sanders? He can afford it. I know he can afford it. Y'all saw Bucky pumping his own gas at the Deion'S Sanders combine. Get him one of them $30,000 backpacks they were showing off at Streaming University, please. Because this boy be streaming on potato, but here he is throwing up the wrist with RG3, doing it big, doing it large. Ian Coleman does have a question for you. So I'm going to ask you the video. Would you take Arch Manning or Jeremiah Smith? Because they're probably both going to be available in the 2027 draft. So, make that decision as you wish. But continuing forward, I want to speak about the relationship that was not only shown recently, and that was not only shown a while ago, but even more recently. Well, not even more recently, but draft time recently. And for somebody in Robert Griffin III, and I do want to preface this because I might have said, RG3 is corny. I disagree with some of his takes, X, Y, Z, right? RG3 is not corny because I disagree with his takes. There's people that I like that disagree with takes. There's so many athletes that are just like, hey, dog, probably not going to listen to you. Antonio Brown is going to go down as one of the greatest wide receivers in NFL history, and his head is mashed potatoes, and he'd be saying terrible stuff. So it's a little, you know what I'm saying? It's a little different, right? So I'm not going to agree with everything that RG3 says, and that's completely fine. My main gripe is that he's actually corny on the mic. Like whenever he's doing the commentary, it's just not my flavor. Some people don't like Tony Romo. Some people think Tom Brady sounds like Plank on the mic. I am not a fan of RG3, but it does not take away from the amazing athletic prowess that he's had, the amazing athletic career we have. I am not somebody who sits here and nitpicks careers and says, but he didn't do it in the NFL. He only had one good year. I like to look at full athletic careers, and you talk about someone who won the Heisman Trophy. I don't know how you say that's a failure. I don't know how you say that this isn't someone who's dealt with a situation. Please, I actually went back because I was making an RG3 video a few months back, and I went to look back at his first snap or his first dropbacks after tearing his ACL in the playoffs and what they made him do. Dog, just wasn't the same person. So if anybody knows about adversity, it's RG3. And if anybody knows how to deal with Mary Kay Cabot, apparently RG3 too. Let's hear it.
But I think, I'm not an idiot. I know a lot of people were writing me off as a player, as a quarterback, saying I couldn't do it. And to go out and show that I can, I think that proves a lot of people wrong. But ultimately, like I said, at the end of the game, I want to win games. And right now, I'm here with the Cleveland Browns, and I love these guys in this locker room. And I want to help them win here. And if I don't get that opportunity, then that's out of my control. I've done everything that I can to this point with the cards that I was dealt to try to put the best foot forward and let the chips fall where they may.
Now, apparently, the backstory here is that, Mary Kay in her illustrious, clippings or whatnot was talking not so positively of RG3. So RG3 looked right down the barrel of the MKC and said, look, dog, I'm a dog. So shout out to RG3 for doing that. And what do I mean when I talk about the day of support? Oh, wait, is this the video of... Oh, okay, no. Okay, I thought this was the video of RG3 going crazy. Oh, they played Perfect Timing as who's over there. Okay, so this is the stream. See, I'm telling you, the live stream. He just needs a better backpack because that was terrible, dog. Anyway, that was that. He's over there, you know what I'm saying, showing out for the people with the people. But let's take you all the way back to draft night, and I have a lot of people who I'm not sure if y'all are new. Obviously, clearly I have a lot of new supporters. And first off, thank y'all for the new supporters, the new people who watch. But clearly a lot of y'all are new because whenever I talk about Shedeur in the draft fall, I think some people's knee-jerk reaction is to think that like I'm some person who's like, oh my God, you think he's the greatest quarterback of all time? But I've never said that. I haven't said that. You can go look at what I said. I give in-depth, detailed opinions on how I feel. But I'm not going to keep doing that. I have videos that do that. Y'all can go watch those videos. What I will say at this particular moment is that not just me, but multiple NFL players, former greats, Hall of Famers, yada, yada, yada. I can list off a bunch of names, but it doesn't matter because a lot of people are going to just think they're biased and in the pockets of Deion'S Sanders. But RG3, someone who is staunchly Christian and has a lot of opinions that probably don't agree and align with Deion'S Sanders and certain things. I'm not saying the Christian part because that is something that they align on. I'm saying his takes and things, they're not always pro Deion from the things that he says, but he was extremely pro Shedeur in this case. And I think that it's interesting to see that even someone who, everything might not always align up when it comes to perspective, he's still there offering his level of perspective that I don't think many others can, being in his position. So let's start with this video that he released April 26th, right? Now, we ain't here to talk about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, but I know his wife is infamous for being in the back and just staring at RG3 as he says stuff. Kind of weird. It's kind of odd. But if we can just get past that, let's hear him out. Let's hear what RG3 has to say.
Shedeur Sanders' confidence and ability is what the NFL craves. You have to be able to galvanize a locker room. And that's exactly what Shedeur Sanders can do. So why is he being punished by falling out of the first 3 rounds of the draft? Well, I'm not mad that Shedeur Sanders fell out of the first 3 rounds of the draft. But I am confused because his tape says that he's a first-round pick. His tape says that he's a top 3 pick in the NFL draft. So why are we sitting here now after the first 3 rounds and he hasn't been picked? It's about jealousy. It's personal. Deion'S Sanders, all-time great cornerback in NFL history. He's done an amazing job raising his sons, done an amazing job preparing them for the next level. Shedeur Sanders is prepared for this moment. I've got no question about it that whether he gets drafted in rounds 4 through 7 or he goes undrafted, he will have a successful NFL career. So why are we punishing Shedeur Sanders for the things that we absolutely crave, desire, and want from our quarterbacks?
Now, again, this is not me saying it. This is former NFL player, former first-round pick, one of the most historic rookie seasons in college football, NFL history, right? From a rookie quarterback. That's what he has to say. So when we get to these points, and I make these videos, and I'm talking about the Browns, and I'm talking about these things, and because I haven't talked about the draft in a very long time. Like everybody, and some people comment like, "Oh my God, he's the 5th round." I'm like, dog, we're past that. Like we really are. But to go back and hear this being said, and again, y'all can look at, I don't want to get too deep in it. Y'all know, if you know, RG3 aligns himself with a certain demographic, we'll say, okay? We'll just say him and Acho. You know what they be getting down with, right? But we're not going to get too deep in that. So for them, sell more. What's happening? For him to clearly see, like, this is a punishment. He didn't say, oh, well, maybe it's a Shedeur problem. Maybe it's this, is that. He's describing it as a punishment. And I'm not going to go into the full clip because why? What is she doing back there? See, and this is the problem with the milkman. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. There's nothing wrong with loving milk, but when you got the milk as a prop in the background eating popcorn, we got a problem. Anyway, Shedeur Sanders is the most popular rookie in the NFL and is being set up to fail in year 1. This is what RG3 had to say. I know you can't read this because I took it one. But anyway, 5th round quarterback, I can barely read this. First round quarterback tape, but fell to the 5th round for the quarterback on the roster. Will get limited practice reps behind 3 quarterbacks, including a Super Bowl champ and Super Bowl MVP the Cleveland Browns acquired this offseason. Will get limited preseason reps with the worst O-line and limited weapons. Now, don't disrespect Joel Bentonio, but if there was one young man built to overcome it and succeed, it is Shedeur Sanders. And again, like I said, the outpour of support was very apparent on draft. And again, I think it's important to call this out because a lot of people took that as the opportunity on Shedeur Sanders. Like, you got to understand, like, being on Shedeur Sanders and being positive about Shedeur Sanders, and I try to be even keel about Shedeur Sanders, even though they say I'm not the Glazer, but whatever. I like to be honest about Shedeur. It doesn't matter. It's gonna bring views. Like you can be negative and bring views. You can be positive and bring views. But Shedeur Sanders and the Sanders name is so, like, people want to and gravitate towards it. I'm not dumb in that. I know that's why like 75% of y'all watch it. Y'all just hear for the news. Show me about the Sanders. I'm not mad at that. Okay. But with that being said, understanding that RG3 took it upon himself to uplift him, I think it's important. I think it needs to be pointed out. I think it's really, again, telling that at every turn, besides people who are disconnected from Shedeur or just want to get their clicks off, it seems like they've found some sort of way to come to his rescue and come to his support. And to me, hey, I gotta assume that means he has some positive tendencies there. So, and these are NFL players saying this. So the message from Shedeur Sanders after going undrafted in the 1st round is exactly why he has the resolve, poise, and maturity to lead an NFL franchise. He didn't hide. He stood tall in the face of adversity and disappointment. This adds to his testimony. Again, I disagree with RG3. RG3 almost every single day. Every time I see him on Twitter, I have him muted on Twitter. I was tired of it because he be doing this thing where he be trying to talk about WNBA and he be talking about basketball and he be talking. I'm like, dog, just stick to football, please. I'll unmute you during the fall, RG3. But this is just too much, dog. But again, how far back does it go? This is a video from 2023. This is Well Off Media 2023. You know what I'm saying? With the coaches and whatnot. And guess who's here supporting? It's RG3. So shout out to him. This is not something that when RG3 speaks about this being when Shedeur speaks about this being like a brotherhood, a big brother, little brother situation, I think it cannot be understated what that means when it comes to how that relationship has been fostered. Now, last thing I want to speak about is actually about the first video we listened to. And again, remember the date, March 25th, 2024. So this was leading up to spring football, or at the end of spring. Am I right? March, April. So leading up to spring football, right? Deion be talking, you know what I'm saying? So he was out there saying, hey, we're going to do this, do that. They're going to be first round picks, XYZ. Hey, Travis Hunter was a first round pick. Shedeur Sanders was slated as a first round pick. Didn't happen, but we know how that is. But I think it's important to understand that, like, you're not going crazy. We're not going crazy. Okay. Things happen in plain sight. I'm a very much believer in that, right? The conspiracy theory that you believe in, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's either happening or it's not. And it's a lot more in your face than you think. And I think this is one of those cases. RG3 is like, hey, Deion just basically said he has the power and is going to demand and dictate where his, kids and recruits are going to go when they get to the NFL. The NFL is not going to like that. Then you fast forward just a year, under a year, a year, a little bit more than a year when you get to the draft, and you see possibly the ramifications of that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that not, if everyone's saying first round talent, and the only offseason is an anonymous this and that, this was right in front of us. That's what I believe. I don't believe in, what I'm saying? I believe in collusion, but I don't believe in like behind the closed doors, XYZ. I believe this is right here. This is the collusion. It's as simple as owners being petty. Hey, we're going to show you something. And I think it got a little too deep, and Jimmy Haslam just saw his guy and he had to scoop him up. You know what I mean? But that's dope. That's great. It's just something to think about when you talk about the ramifications of where it was. Shout out to RG3 and all of the things that I might disagree with him about. I think he hasn't been more spot on than the Sanders and the relationship that he's had. Obviously, they both share that relationship with God, that spirituality. I think that does have a really good opportunity to connect you. And I think it's important that because RG3 is someone who's important in his spirituality, the fact that he's open to taking Shedeur under his wings, I think that also has something to say about that, the discipline that requires different stuff like that. So, good on him. And I think it's great that Shedeur continues to find more support systems, and more importantly, that support systems are there and available for him. Again, if you ask me, I don't want Shedeur to start. I don't want him to start at all. I want him to sit back, kick his feet up, keep the arm warm, show up at all these youngins, little 7-on-7s, little practices, become ingratiated into the community. Don't get rushed and forced out there. And then you come at, right, with the confidence, maybe at the end of the season, right? And you show the people what's going on. But hey, that's just my opinion. And my opinion don't really mean nothing. Yours does mean a lot. So comment down below. Let me know how you feel about it. Like the video if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. Subscribe if you enjoy football content. Oh, about to get a hiccup. Be phenomenal. Continue to be great. Can't thank you enough for your support. And we'll see you next time. If you're here live, don't go nowhere, son. Okay, we ain't stopping the live. But I am going to read some of your comments because y'all know I'll be recording. So Shedeur has been cheated out at least $35 million. And I agree. But I think he's gonna make up for it. I think he's gonna make up for it. I think all the things. I think the name, like I talked about in the video. I think the name and the attention that's brought upon him is so easily monetizable to the point that Shedeur ain't going broke anytime soon. Michael C. Rolex says, stand up back to the lines. What's going on? Reporting facts, laying out facts, and they guys are true. Okay, Lone World said we here. Oh, I wrote that. Oh yeah, okay, I went back too far. So Ian Coleman says RG3 another quarterback demonized because of his dad. His dad didn't want him to play hurt. RG3 ruined his career. Shanahan. Okay, Ian Coleman does no ball. That's a really good point. I didn't even make that connection. I need to just read the chat while I make my videos because y'all are smarter than me. Ian Coleman points out, I forgot about the dad connection, because his dad did make it a point to be like, yo, like he's got a knee problem. Like he can't just be going out there. And obviously we saw the results of that. So I think that's a good point I didn't even think about. RG3 called himself a milkman. Yeah, and that's where some of my disagreements come with RG3. And there's nothing wrong. Again, if you, I'll get into it since I'm not making the video. Nothing wrong with being a milkman, but he uses her as like a prop, and it makes me uncomfortable. As somebody who, you know, has different nations all up in them, makes me a little uncomfortable. Anyway, RG3 was sabotaged. I do agree. Tara Durgans says, as a former Cleveland Plain dealer intern, okay, Mary Kay and Tony Grossi need to realize that their personal, professional missteps don't define them as they seem to with Shedeur. Okay, well, that's nice. Salome says, what's up? Cleveland in the house. Ian Coleman says, Dr. Umar enters the chat. Whoa, 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 whoa. Ian Coleman says, Megan. Fudd says Cleveland is cooking right now. We got the bad dads. Oh yeah, Coach Prime and LeVar Ball, the great dads of Cleveland, the coaching dads of Cleveland. Miss Robinson to you says RG3 try and be positive, but sometimes he be trying to make content for views. That's a good point. That's a good point, Miss Robinson. That is a good point. Alan E225 says, get comfortable with being yourself and unapologetic. Hey, I like it. I appreciate that. Viral Authority says, a coach got to work on not feeling, telling the enemy his plans, expectation. I think that's true. I think there's a certain level of a coof that he could have operated with, but at the same time, like, you know, is it even more impactful that it's out here, right, and in front of us, that we can look at and say, oh, okay, well, that's clearly what happened. You know what I'm saying? Agree with it's either happening or it's not. No conspiracy theories. It's in your face. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. Miss Robinson says Prime didn't have to say nothing. They still was going to do this to Shedeur. And Miss Robinson, that's my point. Good point, because that's what I was kind of saying. Like, hey, might as well do it, or might as well have it out so we can see it, look at it, and be like, yo, this is what's happening. And then Z Russing says, life ain't complicated when you counting this paper. So, I mean, I can't disagree that. Hey, life ain't complicated at all when you count that dang paper. All right, where do we go next? Do we go Cormani McClain? I think this is going to be a fun little recap about what Cormani's got going on. We can go Cormani. We can go Jabril Peppers. What else we got? We got Cormani, Jabril Peppers. We got Jaheim Otis, the Alabama recruit. He had some things to say about Alabama. And then Arch Manning as well. Chat, y'all got any opinions? If not, we're going to go Cormani McClain. Enough want him to start. I agree. Not one to start. Okay. This is Elaine Smith, by the way. Him to start. I agree. He should just sit back, collect that money. Oh, okay. Blur. I can't do the blur thing, dog. I gotta do it. I gotta find a way to put the chat on the screen. Usually I don't have much of a chat, so the fact that y'all are like a larger chat now, I'll make sure that I'll put y'all on the screen. I'll probably put y'all like above my head right here, above my noggin. Great chat, elite chat, absolute phenomenal chat. Shedeur's gonna break the bank, Ian Coleman says, with his second contract. All right, so chat does not seem to have any opinions about the new or the next situation. So we're going to go right in with Cormani McClain, a positive update as well as a timeline walkthrough, just to talk about what's happening with old Cormani McClain. All right. Cormani McClain, I know can be a first-round NFL draft pick. There's a reason why Deion'S Sanders saw him as a good prospect. There's a reason why Deion'S Sanders brought him into Colorado, and there's a reason, even though Cormani left on not the most positive terms, Deion'S Sanders continues to speak positively of, and when you take a look at it, a genetic freak, 6'1", range, speed, length, and now he's in that Florida system where he seems to be getting bigger, stronger, and faster every single day. Today, what we're going to do is sort of like a retrospective, right? Slight update if you haven't been keeping up with Cormani McClain on Cormani McClain and his Florida Gator tenure. Now, I don't believe that he's in position to start, like be a starter, but from what I understand, he is in prime position to be a contributor. He did play some last season, got burnt by Rg3 Smith, got burnt by Matthew Golden, huck 'em horns, but showed some positive flashes and has now shown even more positive flashes. This is as clearly, as recent as June 12th. Florida quarterback Cormani McClain has clearly put on weight this offseason. A recent video uploaded to Florida social media shows the former Colorado cornerback with an increase in size. He was reportedly shown some of the most significant improvements in the weight room as well. Here it is right here. They took the clip. They took the snippet out of it. You know what I'm saying? They was really trying to see the striation. This is June 11th. I don't know if that, if that song's copyrighted, but here is, the full video of them getting after it. And as we're going to watch, I think it's important to point out that, this whole off season has been positive for Cormani, right? It hasn't just been, this one or this, he's fast here. I mean, we've heard that he's getting the playbook better from head coach. We've heard from the weight and conditioning coach that he's one of the fastest guys on the team. Where's that at? Where did I put that at? Right here. From the weight and conditioning coach, him being one of the fastest guys on the team.
If you were building a 4x100 relay team, who are your 4 guys? I saw this question and I spent a lot of time thinking about it. I'm going to go Aiden Mizell, Tank Hawkins, Cormani McClain, I think Devin Moore.
So, this is, and if you've played football or if you've just played sports in general, you know how the strength and conditioning coaches. Strength and conditioning coaches are very typically hard to impress gentlemen, right? He's a little bit of a hard ass, you know what I'm saying? That type of dude. So he's not just going to throw around that you're fast just because whatever, just to make you feel good. It seems like Cormani McClain is one of the faster dudes on the team at this point, right? People said, this was back in March, this was during the springtime. People said that he had put on as much as 20 pounds. So I want to point this out before we go through the timeline, because we're going to take you back. I want to take you all the way back from Cormani in high school. That's where we're going to start. But just before we go there, and again, head coach Billy Napier says Cormani McClain is one of the year 2 players that have taken the biggest leap this spring, April 1st, 2025. So that's what I mean by, like, it's been nothing but positive coming out for him. So, but I say all that to say that I think he's really maximizing what he has, and the fact that these things continue to happen and continue to stack positive things, right? Cormani McClain has a chance to be one of the best cornerbacks in the country this season. Mark my words. I think he's figured things out, off the field, and has found his groove within the Gator system. That's super important, right? And we're going to obviously talk about the relationship with Colorado, relationship with coach, but I think that when we speak about these guys, because I've made Cormani McClain throughout the video, in a certain channel called Matt Be Great. Some call him Matt B. Vandy. I don't know if you've heard of him. Makes decent content, but I did not like the way that he covered Cormani McClain. It's the main reason why I make Cormani McClain videos. It's the reason why I made my first one, because I felt like he was being too harsh on him. And I say that to say, I think that his tenure at Florida, being closer to where he grew up, right, being in that environment, I think it's paying off in dividends. So some people are trying to make it like, oh my God, Colorado can't do this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think some kids need different things. I think some kids need to be isolated in the mountains of Boulder, Colorado, in this new place that someone growing up in Florida has never experienced, right? But I think some people need to be in that weather. They need to be in that humidity. They need to be surrounded. And I believe that he was committed to Florida at one time. I know he committed to Miami as well, but he was like a Florida prospect at one point. So it only made sense for him to come not only back to his home state, I believe, unless he was Southern Georgia. I believe he was in Florida. Not only come back to his home state, but come back to a place that he already has some familiarity with, right? And I think what we're seeing is, instead of all the negativity that people tried to put on it, and oh my God, he was getting slapped by Shiloh and all that crazy stuff, which we're going to get into. I think what you're really seeing is Colorado is not the circus people tried to paint it as, but Cormani McClain isn't the like awful dude that people try to paint him as, right? In the same way that I talk about Shedeur a lot on this channel, it's the same reason why I talk about Cormani, because people were trying to act like this kid didn't have a chance and he was done and it was over with. Now, you did get burnt in the season. That did happen, but the kid has the tools. He's got the talent. From what I understand, he's done nothing off the field besides miss some workouts and show up late to some meetings. Now, that's not great. That's dumb. That's dumb stuff that young kids do, and he should be held accountable for. But now, as he matures into an adult, he's clearly finding his groove and clearly impressing the people that he's a part of. So we have to commend Cormani. And at this point, 6'1.5", elite speed, he's one of the fastest players on an SEC Florida team that is an improved Florida team. That's a first-round pick, ladies and gentlemen. He is the prototypical new style of corner. I'm rangy. I can play in other places. I can be physical. So let's walk you through the Lakeland, Florida. So, yeah, it was Florida. I forgot if it was Florida, if it was Southern Georgia. The Lakeland, Florida player, and kind of walk through a little timeline of him getting to Colorado and then eventually winding up in, I think, a really good situation for him in Florida. So, Cormani McClain. You know what I'm saying? I know it's interesting. See, Travis Hunter, because he was out of Georgia and, I live in Georgia. So he was talked about out of Collins Hill. So there's not a lot of high school players besides like Najee Harris that, I really, and not Mac Brown, but not Austin Brown. What's his name? Derek Brown, because we played against him. That dude. Jesus Christ. So I didn't know much about Cormani McClain. There's not a lot of high school players that I follow. So I didn't know the type of guy he was or anything like that. So I kind of found out about his story, right? And almost Jaden Rashada-y, right? If you know about him, where he had a lot of commits here and commits there. He was supposed to be committed to Miami, didn't sign his NLI, and that became a whole sweepstakes thing. And he was, from what I understand, he was the number 1 quarterback in the class. Regardless, a 5-star with a lot of athleticism, a lot of range, and you can see a lot of confidence in the way that he operated just at the high school level. So from a prospect, you can just see that it's just too easy for him, right? He's just the guy that goes up there. I don't know what they was doing in 2022, dog. They was doing something back there. But, it's just too easy for him. He's taller, he's faster, he's more athletic, and that's kind of how he got his game off, right? Now, fast forward from not signing his NLI with Miami to, of course, signing officially with the Colorado Buffaloes. A big moment for Deion'S Sanders. You're lucky I didn't put that video of him dancing in the hotel window, but we've watched it enough, so I ain't going to put it there. So you go from there, and then Cormani has to make the transition to Colorado, and this is what his first thoughts were as he did that.
I forgot to get a view for y'all outside, bro. It looks so nice outside, bro. Way different from Florida. But, yeah, I'm finna head in the gym.
And then this is what some of them workouts was doing to him. You know what I'm saying?
Like, hey, how you feeling?
I threw it 7 times.
Huh?
I threw it 7 times.
Wait, you said you threw up 7 times?
7 times.
That's okay. You got smoother than this shit. That's normal, though. Like I said, if I was up here, I'd be throwing up, too. Bro, he threw up 7 times today, bro. At least one time when they came up here. He said, what number am I looking at? I'm going to throw up that many times. But how you throw up 7 times, though, bro? But you was working out when you was home.
I was.
It just hit you different. You couldn't breathe. It's just different, bro. Like you breathed
so, he was throwing up. Wait, hold on.
Hey, how you feeling?
Wait. I'm trying to see something. I'm being nosy, but you can see maybe that's not what I think it is. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? But so, he's throwing up, experiencing the mountains of Boulder. He's going through. Is he got the Benjamin on him? Is this what he was doing? Is this why he couldn't show up to meetings? Wait. Let me find out the reason why Cormani McClain never worked out in Colorado is because they had that green for him. They had that czar just coming out everywhere. He was throwing up 7 times. He was high on the field, trying to be Josh Gordon. What's up with you, dog? What is this? And look, I don't mean to slow this down, but listen to Shedeur. Y'all see that?
Wait, you said you threw up 7 times? That's okay. Yeah.
Wait. You see that? Wait. You see? Wait.
That's okay. Yeah, you got smoother than this shit. That's normal though. Like I said, if I was up here, I'd be throwing up too. Bro, he threw up 7 times today, bro. At least one time when they.
I don't know. It seemed like he was like, "Hey, you can't do that." You know what I'm saying? So, W Shedeur, because I cannot confirm nor deny what he put in his mouth. Hey, I don't know what Cormani McClain was doing. Live chat says he definitely was. I don't know if y'all can see. I'm gonna put y'all over here. Read y'all real quick. He says first round bust. Sometimes you gotta slap Cormani. Oh, Ian Coleman, calm down, man. People weren't mad Cormani left. They were mad that they threw shade at Coach Prime and see you after this squandered his opportunity. Now that's true. Shout out Jared Jackson. Silverback Racing says all the practice film is read now. We need to see it in game. That's important. Ian Coleman says Cormani was mad they kept asking him to read. And Tech Coco says he was. Ian Coleman says he definitely had that shtick on him. Hey man, it looked a certain way. It definitely looked a certain way. W teammate for Shedeur, making sure that I can't confirm nor can I deny that. But we don't want to stay too long on the pendulum. But so moving forward, someone said something about practice film. So what does Cormani McClain look like when he got on the practice film? Now, some of this is going to be some stuff from fall, and some of this is going to be from spring, right? And, I think he's really you can see that he plays with a certain level of confidence, right? And I think that confidence was held within his physical attributes, right? Now, he was a little Bambi-legged, but he tended to make some plays. He tended to get physical with people, right? So when it comes with the pure tendencies, it really felt like there was enough there to be turned into an elite corner. When you talk about the length, the strength, the speed, everything else that kind of combined to make it is what it is. Now, this is August, so this is still fall camp. Working against future NFL wide receiver Xavier Weaver, 5-star. Working in phase. Good work there. I don't know why I chopped up like that. But, doing his thing, doing his thug dizzle, right? Really, really showing out. And I think it's important to show that, they go J5. I think it's important to show that, like, the natural progression was that Cormani McClain was going to be the guy, right? You're a 5-star athlete. Like, we're positioning you to be, I mean, you feel me? We position you to be the one. You know what I'm saying? Snagging picks across the level. Like, it was clear. It was a clear thing that was looked at as, hey, he was going to be this guy. Now, as we move forward, things get a little bit more tumultuous, right? Now, this is September 5th. I believe this is actually just an injury update, but this is just kind of like the first, I think, setback that kind of started adding to the issue. So this is September 5th, 2023. This is Deion'S Sanders.
Wire. On Saturday, I don't think we saw Alton McCaskill or Cormani McClain. Just wondering if you can give us an update on those two.
Well, Cormani has to be ready. He has to get ready. He has to get ready to play. McCaskill, he's close. He was mad today because he took it upon himself to take his gold jersey off on himself and not, we didn't tell him to. I'm like, I don't want you hit in practice. I want you to make it to the game. But he wants it so bad. He wants it right now. And we're going to monitor him and see. He shouldn't have dressed. I wanted to take it, but he shouldn't have dressed out. Because I wasn't going to play him. That wasn't going to happen. But the kid wants to play right now. Now we got to make sure he's ready. He's prepared.
So, again, I think Alton McCaskill, my fault was the injury. But, obviously with Cormani McClain was not an injury. It was him being ready. So it started off as, hey, he's not ready. So that's September 5th. Well, that's early on in the season, boy. That's quite early on in the season having these problems. And then we get to September 19th. And, Deion'S asked again, why is Cormani McClain not playing?
What is the plan at corner? Like, is Cormani ready yet?
No. The plan at corner is cornerback committee. That's why we practice. We're going to see who steps up and takes over that role.
What's holding Cormani back at this point?
He is. He is.
Cormani McClain is what's holding Cormani McClain back. Hey, I don't think that's a false assessment by Deion'S Sanders at the time from what it looked like. Now, I will say we move on, and somebody talked about wanting to see some game film. Well, let's talk about some game film. So this is December 22nd, right? But before that, November 9th, right? And I think this is important. Again, I'm not someone who just wants to point negatives and XYZ. This is clearly a turning point, at least what it seemed like for Cormani McClain at November 9th going towards the end of the season.
If you tell me you don't want this, I won't hold you accountable to this. Coach Mathis just told me a great story. Coach Mathis, tell him the story you just told me in the cafeteria about one of our players.
Mike. Yesterday, they had the race, right? So Cormani was on the Midget side. So when Midget lost, everybody had to run. And some folks that was on their side, they didn't run. And he got up there and ran that gas. He didn't get off to the side, none of that stuff. Like early in the year, he would have went off to the other side and not ran his gas. But he got over there and ran the gas and ran it all. He's grown so much, man, and I'm proud of you, brother. Because I was on your ass every day. I'm proud of what you're coming about. You know what I'm saying? That right there shows growth in you by doing that. Because earlier in the season, you wouldn't have done it. You just slid off to the side and wouldn't have worried about it, right? But I'm proud of you, boy, and you will have a good game this weekend because you're growing.
He's going to have a great game. He's going to have a great game.
Hey, so again, and again, later in the season, he started to get some reps there. And more specifically, we're going to watch some work against Brenden Rice, but you saw that there's a natural progression there, right? And more importantly, this is why I didn't, because I watched football. So I watched football, I watched real life media, I saw what was happening, and I've played football, and I know that from being friends with, I was just a cool dude. I wasn't, I wasn't the super popular, but I was cool with dudes who were like the troublemakers. I was cool with dudes who were the goody two-shoes on the team, right? And what you see oftentimes in these bad players is bad situations and weird circumstances that, makes them be late, especially when you talk about high school. Because, I'm not sure if you can tell, not an NFL player. So, especially at high school, it's like there's only so much that a 16-year-old can do to show up every day at 7 a.m., right? So they might be labeled as a certain way just because they mom can't get up and do all these things or whatever, different things. So I think it's great to see that there was a growth shown at least. And obviously it didn't end up working at Colorado, but that growth continued when he got to Florida, clearly, because that's why we're hearing more positive things about him. So here is a play really quick, because we can't do too much, just about Cormani McClain working against a now is Brenden Rice still in the NFL? At one point an NFL receiver, Mr. Brenden Rice. It wasn't Brenden Rice also an ex-Colorado receiver? That's crazy. Okay, so we're going to watch him here. Now, let's see. It seems that, okay, so Brenden Rice is going to get high on his toes, try to freeze him up. It seems like Cormani is starting to open his hips up a little bit. He feels some movement to the outside. With that feel, though, I don't like that he opened his hips up that quick. I would like to see him to keep his hips a little square still. But this is why he's a freak athlete, because what does he do? Actually, we can do this. Wait, why is it not? It's not letting me do it. Oh, sorry. Dang it, I was gonna show you. But anyway, this is why he's a freak athlete, because the recovery, right? He flips. He creates space. I mean, this is a great window to put this ball in. But Cormani has a lot of speed and a lot of physicality, so he finishes through, and that's an incompletion against an NFL quarterback and an NFL wide receiver. And speaking again about the growth, right? This is Colorado football's leading tackler at the time, Juwan Mitchell, on Cormani McClain, September 26, 2023.
What's impressed you about Cormani McClain as a true freshman coming in here, and where does he have to also improve and get better? Where are things you like and where are some things he can improve?
That's funny. That was my roommate TCU game. I'm like, dang, they rooming with a freshman. But, nah, he matured. Cormani matured. He know what he want in life. He going to go get it. Yeah, he got things, he got to work on. We all do. But he real hungry. He come in every day ready to work. He long, real long. He could go play the ball, things of that. So he's special. I expect coming back in a year or two, him being one of those guys.
And hey, Jawan Mitchell, I think you're right because people are projecting Cormani McClain to be one of those guys, but just in the SEC, not in the Pac or Big 12. And it's interesting to see because now we're gonna kind of fast forward to the offseason, in this last offseason of 2024, where there were some speculations about Cormani McClain, so much in fact that one of the Deion'S Sanders fan pages kind of tweeted out, hey, look, Cormani McClain is just putting in work. There's nothing crazy going on with Cormani McClain. Well, that did not last long because Cormani McClain went ahead and entered the transfer portal. And this right here started a crazy little era of the college football world, and specifically when it comes to Coach Prime. And we kind of know the end, right? You get there, he commits to Colorado. I don't want to make this video too much longer, but finally commit to Florida. But I think there's going to be a separate video about this whole scenario, right? Hey, I don't want to play for clicks.
Change the narrative of everyone's thinking on my name. Be a part of a real and a great program that's going to impact me at my best ability. And yeah, ready to get to a new place and get to work. Yeah, I feel like I just don't want to play for clicks. I actually want to be involved with a great leading program that's going to develop players. With that being said, that'll wrap up all the questions asked from you guys.
Now he talked all that and got burnt, didn't you? Yeah, the only time you got played, you got burnt. Now you did get your pick six. We ain't gonna take that away from you, Cormani. She was talking that hot shit, and Matthew Golden put you in that blender, dog. I'm just saying. But hey, that's why the improvement's important. Clearly, he had to do more maturing. Deion'S Sanders had to say this.
I think he's a young man that's going to find his way real soon.
Gonna find his way, man.
Sometimes you need to disconnect from something to reconnect to something else, to restart you and re-energize you and stabilize you. But I don't dislike any of the kids that may leave, man, because I just want the best of them. I really do. I'm just crazy like that. I really want the best for all these kids, no matter what transpires in their life.
Love to hear that. Deion'S Sanders is going to continue to say that all the time. Again, commits to Florida, doesn't play much in the games that he plays. A few good moments, pick six here and there, gets burnt. But now coming into this season, he's poised to be a major contributor. And, if he plays his cards right with the physical abilities he has, can become a top tier first-round pick in the NFL. So y'all let me know how you feel about Cormani McClain, his growth, what you think he's going to do this season, how you feel about the Florida Gators. Now, as great as that all sounds, the Florida Gators know how to just mess things up. So we'll see if they do anything with it. I would love to see that. Hey, Cormani, I don't know why you went the Gators of all places, but they just know how to mess things up. But comment down below if you have any opinions. Like the video if you like it. Dislike if you don't like it. Subscribe if you enjoy anything else. Or any other football content. Continue to be amazing, be great. Appreciate the support. We'll see you next time. Peace. All right. Too much yapping. Silverback, you talking about me? Or are you talking about Cormani? Let me read some of y'all's comments in the break here. Here we go. Hey everyone. She's saying hey to everybody. Okay, what's happening? Cordia Chandler. Fudd, you know what he do. Cormani got Restrepo picked up by the tight. Hey, Ian knows what's up. Restrepo whooped Cormani. Yeah. Chavon Haskins says, wow, that boy definitely gained some weight. If that's his photo, absolutely. What's it called? Elaine Smith says, so glad to hear you not want him to start. Oh, yeah, we already. Sometimes I'd be going too far back. I already read Elaine's comment. Shout out to you, Elaine. Silverback says, Cormani might be cooked. First round bust. I mean, it's your first round. You can be a bust now. You can get busted dying. Cormani had Hurricanes a B-Day commitment party and never showed up a week later. He was on Gilly and Wallow. Hey, that's $1 million worth of game right there. We read some of this. We read some of that. We read that. I keep going back too far. He was missing the mental side. He's good now, Ian Coleman says. His mom ain't letting him fumble the bag. I didn't want to get into the mom stuff. The mom stuff's kind of weird. Michael says, according to Deion, by his metrics, you need to be great in the class and in practice. Class is or was the problem. That's true. Headache CEO / homework enforcement. Silverback says too much yapping by him. Everybody give a like. Shout out that daily dose. Silverback says no Cormani. Now, on to the next thing. Appreciate y'all hanging and banging with me. Hanging and banging with me. I already did that one. Yeah, let's do this and let's do Arch. Let's do Deion'S Sanders, Alabama transfer. This is I forgot one video, but I think I'll be okay. I'm not gonna make this video too long. I'm not gonna stretch this video out too long, dog. Wait, I gotta find it. What does Deion'S Sanders be saying about defensive linemen? What he be saying about them defensive linemen, man? Hey. I can't find it. But they're just saying about it. All right. So, Cortia says, "Hey there, Tings. How you doing? Appreciate you saying, hey, what's up? Appreciate you hanging out. Are we good, dude? Is my stream okay? Is my stream tripping? Okay, no, we're good. We're going. All right, cool. Yeah, let's get into this, which I think is a interesting conversation to have about Deion and kind of some new recruits, right? Deion'S Sanders in Colorado have been very synonymous with the transfer portal era, NIL era, if you call it, of college football, as he is more than open to using the transfer portal. But it seems like this last season, he didn't he wasn't the poster child, because it seemed like other schools were losing more and gaining more. Even though he did gain a certain amount, it seems that Deion'S Sanders continues to be better at the talent acquisition and picking who he wants as recruits from the transfer portal. As you see with Jimmy Horn, LeJontay Wester, a lot of these other players that he's recently picked as transfer portal players, not only panning out, and even Mccalin Green, which we'll talk about in this video, not just panning out as players on the team, but more importantly, I think panning out at the rest of their football careers and making it to the NFL. A more recent player that from the University of Alabama, which is interesting because Mccalin Green transferred to Alabama, it's almost like a player swap, is Mr. Jaheim Otis. If I'm saying this right, he's a former 3-star, 5-star, big 6'6" Damon from Alabama, and he actually had some negative things to say about Alabama. He says that they weren't treating him right. Again, super ironic, because a year ago, Deion'S Sanders was being told that his Colorado locker room wasn't treating people the right way. So a lot of parallels to talk about, a lot of interesting things to talk about, but more importantly, you've got a Colorado transfer player from Alabama. That's real SEC size, real SEC girth and tonnage that's going to help bolster, I would say, the weakest part of the defense when you talk about interior defensive alignment, but we'll get deeper into that and kind of take the next step. Appreciate you watching these videos. If you like it, like it. If you don't, dislike it. Subscribe if you enjoy football content of all shapes, sizes, forms, and fashion. Let's get right into it. And I want to start June 24th, 2024. Coach Prime speaking about making Colorado a power.
A leader of men, not a follower of men. I'm a father, not a baby daddy. My sons, Travis included, are getting ready to migrate to the NFL. I'm not following them to the NFL. So I plan on being here and being dominant here.
Being here and being dominant here. And obviously a lot of questions were brought about the length of Deion'S Sanders' tenure and what it would look like for his career. But I think he's kind of answered some of those things and really put those to rest, right? And I think a good thing to look at in showing that is Colorado's impressive NFL experienced coaching staff. I mean, you got gold jackets and NFL players all over the place. Deion'S Sanders, not sure if you've heard of him, Warren Sapp, Marshall Faulk, DeMonte Pecco, Kevin Mathis, Pat Schumer, Andrew Grody, Jason Phillips, George Hagman, Robert Livingston, either former players or former coaches in the big bad world of the NFL. So when you talk about these kids wanting to have the eventual goals to make it to the highest level of football, you got people people who have been at the highest level of football doing it. Now, let's talk about one Jaheim Oatis. Now, former defensive lineman who was committed to Colorado. He started 13 games for Alabama, had 57 total tackles with 3 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, and 5 pass breakups in his career. And he played more of a rotational piece for that, always loaded up Alabama defensive line, and kind of had things rotate there. So Jaheim Oatis talked with On3 more recently about his Alabama exit, Colorado transfer, and NFL draft goals for this season. He's fully healthy and has lost weight since arriving to Colorado. He says he's got a lot to prove to people this year. He didn't just say that, he said a lot more. And it's interesting to point out here, because as it stands, Deion in Colorado for the rankings are underneath teams like East Carolina, Temple, and Texas State, Eastern Michigan. But again, y'all know that he's big on transfer portal, so don't worry about that. People say that there's a problem every year, and then he ends up with Jordan Seaton or Julian Lewis or Cormani McClain, like we talked about earlier in that live stream. But continuing on, let's talk about, before we speak about Jaheim Oatis, and we're going to get into that article about him basically ripping the Alabama Crimson Tide staff, let's speak about what, again, was one of the weaker parts of an improved defense last year for the Colorado Buffaloes.
The reason I felt some type of way was, we got this thing that you play 60% of the snaps and you get Sunday off, which is wonderful. We want to take care of the guys we're playing, and we want to kind of get the guys ready that may have not have played but may have to play an important role this week. So I think strategically it's suffice. But when I sit up there and I look over there and we give up 244 yards rushing and we got the line sitting over there chilling, I feel a type of way. I look over there and I see we give up 6 sacks and we got the line over there chilling, I feel a type of way.
Now, Deion'S Sanders did a lot of work in the offensive line as well as the defensive line for the transfer portal, but more importantly, what I want to talk about is the fact that there was a clear issue, but not just an issue with their defense, issue giving up rushing yards. Now, what did that look like statistically, right? Or at least ranking-wise statistically. When you talk about the defensive side of the ball, again, this is an improved Colorado defense. And one of the bigger places they improved in, what you're going to see, is red zone scoring. They ranked and finished the season number 6 in red zone scoring. When we were looking at some of the weekly videos and the preambles to some of their games, Colorado's red zone opponent red zone scoring ranked anywhere between number 3, 5, and 1 some weeks when it came to the rankings in NCAA. They finished with number 6. So this is not a middle of the mall defense, right? Opponents' points a game, that's number 32 out of 134 FBS teams. They are number 32. When the previous year their defense was the laughing stock of college football. Now, it's not like it was that much better, right? Because if you talk about rushing statistics, again, 79th when they're running against you, 3.9 yard opponents rush a game, which isn't that bad, but opponent rushes a game, 103, opponent rush yards a game, number 61. So they're about middle of the pack when it comes to defending the run. And then when you talk about sack percentage, number 7. So they were getting, again, the edges were no problem. Like that's what I have to say. Like Arden Walker, BJ Green, like the edges did what they needed to do, and they got after it. I feel like they were making one of the bigger impacts, but the interior of that defense was probably the biggest issue that you had. And the fact that you get somebody that's not just a defensive tackle, but a big bad dog, right? Like he's 6'6", he's a manimal, right? And then speaking about his transition to getting to Colorado, right? So Jaheim Oatis had a .930 transfer rating from 24/7. He was ranked as the number 14 overall player in the transfer portal, number 1 defensive player, and the number 1 defensive lineman as of December 18, 2024. He joins Colorado with 2 years to play. Played 3 seasons at Alabama under 2 different head coaches. In his first 2 seasons, he played for legendary coach Nick Saban, and in his final season with the Tide, he played for Kalen DeBoer. Played 29 games and started 13 across 3 seasons. Played total 52 tackles. We talked about that. And then high school rankings, a unanimous 4-star. So that's why I said 4 or 5-star. 24/7's Sports rated him as number 92 player in the country, number 13 defensive liner, number 1 player from Mississippi. Interesting. The 247 Sports composite listed him as a number 71 player ranked nationally, number 12 defensive lineman, and number 2 player from Mississippi. And then ESPN had number 38 player in the country, 4 defensive lineman, number 2 player in Mississippi. Very highly touted 4-star rank. So let's get into what he had to say about his previous team in the Clemson Tide. So former Alabama defensive lineman rips Alabama Crimson Tide coaching staff. Jaheim Oatis left the Crimson Tide after the first 5 games of last season and later transferred to Colorado and Buffalo's head coach Deion'S Sanders. So it says former Alabama defensive lineman Jaheim Oatis has entered the transfer portal on October 7th after just 5 games until the 2024 season. The NCAA rule allows a player to redshirt a season if he only had played in 4 games, and Oatis met that mark. A couple of months later, on December 16th, he committed to Colorado and the Buffalo's head coach Deion'S Sanders. Interesting because the other one was dated December 18th, but I guess not important. When Oatis announced that he was leaving the Crimson Tide, he said, "This decision did not come easily, but I need to prioritize my future and career. While this season did not unfold the way we had hoped, my love for the school and its incredible fan base remains as strong as ever." Fast forward into today, and Oatis spoke with On3's Pete Narcos and explained that his decision to transfer wasn't only due to playing time, but rather the Crimson Tide's coach. This is nasty. Throwing coaches under the bus. But let's hear about it. I left Alabama because I came in with Coach Saban. I took it to heart, Oatis wrote. That was one of my biggest dreams, to play in college football for Coach Saban and win a ring. The new staff wasn't for me. And once I found out that they didn't mess with me, I knew it was time to get up and get out of there. Legendary former Alabama head coach Nick Saban retired, obviously in 2024, and UA hired Washington head coach Kalen DeBoer to be his successor 2 days later. This 48-hour window resulted in several players leaving as they wanted to play for Saban and only Saban. Oatis started in 10 games as a freshman in 22 and 3 times in 23. After battling injuries, he got back to full strength before the 24 season, but has only recorded 2 tackles through the first 4 games and played significantly fewer snaps. The news of Oatis' departure broke just a couple hours before a weekly Alabama football press conference. DeBoer spoke on the matter, saying that it had been trending this way for some time. Okay, this is what Kalen DeBoer says. The thing you also have to understand is there's other elements to this, DeBoer said. There's health elements. There's life elements. I love these guys. They work hard. In Jaheim's choice and things, there's reasons for that. He has notified and continues to be in communication here with us. We move forward with these guys that really are able to help us win and focus on our program. And as we go through this, I don't want to put finality to it, but I want what's best for all people. And Jaheim's one of them. Oatis now eyes a major role in the Buffaloes this upcoming season. So he was a 6'6", 348-pounder. Here he is in Alabama getting some work into moving bodies around. You know what I'm saying? Just moving bodies around. So he's a big dog, adding a much-needed beef and girth and tonnage to that Colorado defensive line. And clearly he brings some explosivity, if that's even a real word. I don't think so. Some explosivity as well. This is a throwback clip. This dude is – it's so funny to see, like, these what's it called? What do you call it? What do you call it? Golly, oh, my God. Oh, my, did he come from the sideline or did he kick off? Oh, wow, he kicked off. That's fire. Oh, okay, yeah, he kicked off and brings it. Okay, that's crazy. It's so cool to see, like, the viral, those viral high school plays, and then you see the person grow up. Like the Lamar Jackson play where he stopped. It's like, oh, that's Lamar Jackson. Oh, my God. So that's Jaheim Oatis. Jaheim Oatis putting a pounding on somebody. Pause. So what we've seen from Jaheim Oatis has been a lot of things. You feel me? This is just a little snippet from the defensive line working. I believe he wore 95 or 92. He's gonna be one of the tallest son of a guns out there. He's gonna be working a lot of different things. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not really sure if that's Jaheim Oatis. I think Jaheim wears 92. I think that's him. I think the big dude. Yeah, there he is. This big mother. Hey. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So Jaheim already getting active. He doing it. The whole defensive line getting active. You like to see that. You love to see that there. And here's the big O with Amarion Miller, and then of course Jaheim Oatis. You feel me?
You my dog, but we gotta do something about that. I hear O too. Who the big O and who the little O? Already. She don't call you no big O. God, everybody call me big O. It's all on my social media.
It's on mine too. Everybody at the crib, what's my name? They gonna say Big O.
The Big O. Hey, Omarion Miller, Jaheim Otis, it's good to see, man. Y'all let me know in the comments who's the Big O. Who's the real Big O? Is it 6'6" Jaheim Otis, or is it 6'4", 6'3" Omarion Miller? They both big. They both got O. You know what I'm saying? So go crazy with it. So I think that Jaheim Otis is going to be a great addition to an a Colorado team that their only real main weak point from the defensive side, or one that didn't improve the most, would be interior defensive linemen. So I think this matches well. You get a high level player to fit that need, and then hopefully kind of things can kind of transition in the positive way. So just to finish off this video, quick little update on Mekhi Hill-Green. Now, he was, if I remember correctly, one of the lead tacklers, if not the lead tackler for Colorado, all Big 12, all that stuff. And the only reason why we're talking about him is because he transferred to Alabama. Now, he was former Michigan player, former Charlotte player. And the interesting thing about him transferring also was that I think a lot of, from the consensus that I saw when he did transfer, I think a lot of people were expecting him to go to the NFL draft. So I think a lot of people were just confused in general, like that he even entered the portal. Like how did he even enter the portal? I thought homie was going to the draft. So to see that, I think that caught people off by surprise. And then I think even more important, and I think this is as much as it sucks to lose someone like Mekhi Hill-Green, losing them to Alabama is a good thing, right? And I think that's what, and I'm not saying, because I don't think that's the same time, June 15th, or when did he, I don't think I have his commitment date, but I don't think they committed that closely. But, you would think that when you have a player go from Colorado to Alabama, that gives you a bit of credence, right? That in the game of, not the transfer portal, but game of transfer portal, but in the game of recruiting at large, right? Hey, this is somebody who came from Colorado. He went from Michigan, top tier school, Charlotte, lower league, Colorado takes a step up, and then what most people would assume is a major step up, right, to Alabama. Well, hey, that also means Colorado, hey, we bring motherfuckers that go to the SEC. That's who we recruit. We bring in people who get drafted to the NFL, right? So, I am the reason why I follow, I keep up with NFL stuff too, obviously, as you've seen, but the reason why I've always been from the perspective of college football is because it's like a big marketing thing, right? Like sending people to the NFL helps recruiting. Getting transfer portal players helps recruiting. Sending transfer portal players to certain opportunities also helps. Like it's like a whole, it's like the circle of life or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole thing, right? So Mekhi Hill-Green, Alabama linebacker, is one of the most physically gifted linebackers to come through Tuscaloosa. Interesting. Hill-Green is an experienced linebacker that brings physicality and versatility to Alabama's linebacker room. What are your thoughts on Mekhi Hill-Green? So this is him in action. We already made a video about him, and I just think it's super interesting that you get a transfer who was transfer out who was such a big part of your defense last year. I would have to assume that Jaheim Otis is going to be quite the large part of the new defense for Colorado coming into this season. But hey, you let me know how you feel about Jaheim Otis, how you feel about losing Mekhi Hill-Green, the transfer portal in general. Do you think Deion'S Sanders is doing what needs to be done to really build a powerhouse? Just let me know, man. And I really say I gotta appreciate y'all, man. I really thank y'all for watching these videos, rocking with me. If you're watching this video and not watching the live stream, which I'm recording this on, you're probably gonna be watching this while I'm on vacation, running around. I probably have this video scheduled, so I just really thank you for me being able to do that, me being able to take some time away, not just from my regular job too. You know what I'm saying? I got a real job, so I got to take away time from that. But y'all's support has made it to the point that I would even want to record videos to be ready. You know what I'm saying, to talk about some more evergreen things while I'm gone. So if you're seeing this, you know what I'm saying, 4th of July, if you're going crazy, you know what I'm saying, you get a nice hot dog, enjoy a phenomenal cookout, be great, continue to be great, and just know that I thank you and appreciate you in all you do. Like the video if you like it. I already said that. Dislike if you don't like it. Subscribe if you enjoy football content, and we will see you next time. Peace. All right, gotta read the chat. I think Peko was the biggest pickup as a coach. That is a really good point. That's what I forgot. Y'all be reminding me of stuff I forget to talk about in the video, but there was a lot to talk about with the Alabama transition. But Ian Coleman says, do you think Shedeur starts the whole season? Oh, Caden Salter? Don't understand how much Sapp has grown as a coach. That's Ian Coleman. Ian is a ball. You be looking at it. You a ball knower, ain't you? Because that is like an intricate thing to pick up on. Yeah, Coach Sapp has grown as a coach, and that doesn't just mean his interactions that we see, but I think clearly the way that he implements his coaching, and you can see that through the growth of the defensive line in different ways. Now, he's not the main defensive line coach, right? Obviously, Devontae Peko is now, but still being someone to bring that some continuity, bring some energy, bring some juice to that defensive line room, I think is super important. So that's a good point. D. Motley says, what's good, things? D. Motley, you want to invest in the business, dog. You one of the biggest and the baddest in the business. Appreciate you showing up. It's almost time to name the channel AFB, All Football Teams. Hey, man, I like it. I like that one. I might just say, I might just drop the C and just do FB Teams, man. Jimmy Horn. Oh, yeah, we keeping up on Jimmy Horn. Don't worry. We come on now. We ain't never going to let Jimmy Horn slip through the cracks. Can't let that happen. Can't let that happen. All right, we did Cormani, we did Deion, we did RG3. Let's do Arch Manning. But before we do Arch Manning, I need a break. I just got to run to the bathroom. So what I'm going to do is put something on the screen for y'all. I'm going to just put an old video on. I'm going to just put a old video on while I run to the bathroom for just a second. Nobody freak out. I'm coming right back. Actually, you know what I should put on? I should put... Oh, no. I'm gonna let y'all get an unreleased. I'm gonna let y'all get an unreleased. Well, not really unreleased, but, you know. You either seen it or you
it's really coming...
You either seen it or you haven't seen it. Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all watch this little unreleased joint right here. I'm gonna run to the bathroom, all right? And then I will be right back. Let's go. Face cam. Did I not put the full screen on here? Why would I not put the full screen here? All right, cool. So, I'm gonna let y'all watch this. I have not released this video. What's it called? I'm gonna just throw this up on the screen for a second, and then
down to back, right? Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel. That's what I was told.
Remember Kenny Pickett as the guy threw himself into a sack. Kenny Pickett is the real QB1 for the Cleveland Browns. Now, this is kind of puzzling to me, not because I think Shedeur Sanders is QB1. I mean, you know, my videos might tell you otherwise. But no, in all seriousness, I just thought that Joe Flacco was the easy answer to be QB1, and then everything should just matriculate down there. But it seems that multiple sources I have of Kenny Pickett being the guy. So today what we're going to do is shine a little light on Kenny Pickett. Can he beat out or not beat out? Is he the real QB1? Can Shedeur beat Kenny Pickett out? What is the real credence and what are the real accolades that Kenny Pickett comes with? And of course, we'll look at him sling the ball around the Browns in that situation. But it seems like the biggest roadblock for Shedeur Sanders to be QB1 is no longer Dylan Gabriel. It's Kenny Pickett. So let's get right into it, man. I do want to start first about Kenny Pickett speaking about Shedeur Sanders, because no matter what, I think the gentleman's been quite classy.
Have you felt the Shedeur sort of aura? He's all over, social media. There's a huge fan base for him. He's a celebrity. I mean, have you sort of felt that? And if so, what impact does that have on any of this?
I don't think much player-wise. Shedeur's an awesome guy, man. He's funny to be around. He's a great time every day in the quarterback room. We have a lot of laughs together, so it's been a lot of fun having him in the building.
And, I know this is technically about Kenny Pickett, but, I got to shoehorn some Shedeur propaganda in here, because what else am I doing, right? And what I'll say to you, in all seriousness, is I think it's important to note where some of this drama is coming from, for as much as people say, oh, my God, Shedeur is going to add drama to the, XYZ, the media, the blah, blah, blah. It seems like the media is the only people adding the drama, clearly, right? they're the ones trying to. I mean, that lady had to be at least 30 years old. She's using words like aura to describe Shedeur Sanders. What have we done? Has TikTok gone too far? We need to think about it. Have a conversation, okay? All right? I don't understand why Kenny Pickett's being asked about aura. It's ridiculous. But in response, Kenny Pickett doesn't just say, he's a nice guy. He's a little more specific about that. I add value and credence to things when people give some specific stuff. And I think he was pretty specific. Like, hey, look, not only is he chill, not only is it, whatever y'all talking about, but on top of that, we're having a good time. We're laughing. He's positive. That's been a common sentiment across multiple Browns players, from the quarterback room to Myles Garrett to a bunch of other people. But that's not what we're here for. How about Kevin Stefanski speaking about Kenny Pickett? Because a lot of people remember Kenny Pickett as the guy who couldn't even throw the ball out of his hand and threw himself into a sack. I don't know how you did that. You also know him as Kenny Pickett has the worst touchdown percentage in NFL history among quarterbacks with 500-plus career starts. At 2%, the worst touchdown rate in history. Kenny Pickett's 25 career starts, 12 starts with 0 touchdowns, 1 game ever with 2 touchdowns, 79.3 career passer rating. Shout out to the Buffalo. He might be biased. He might be biased, but appreciate the stats for Kenny Pickett, because that wouldn't lead credence for people to think that from the last we've seen of him, besides win the ring, the last we've seen of Kenny Pickett hasn't been the most positive. So what does Kevin Stefanski see in Kenny Pickett that, makes maybe seems like he's leaning to be QB1? This is back in May 28th, by the way.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what Kenny brings to the team. He's a guy that works extremely hard at his craft. I love the way he thinks about the game. He's very, very tough. So he's doing a nice job. As you can imagine, with quarterbacks or any position, we're throwing a lot at these guys, and I think he's handling it really well.
So, already positivity coming from the head coach right now. I think that it's important to be noted that it's not just spoken, but I do feel like there's a real air of confidence, right? There is a real air of, hey, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not just I'm saying positive things about Kenny Pickett, but more so there's a confidence that he's been displaying. And we're going to get to the actual throwing of the football at the end of this too. But let's get into some more recent claims of Shedeur Sanders being QB1. Now, this is I believe from Rich Eisen, right? Now, this is just a counterclaim saying that Shedeur is actually QB1 and he might be starting by week 7. And then we're going to get deeper into this claim. But before we do that, TJ Huzmandazde, I don't know, I said that wrong. He says, I was told by somebody that's in the building that ain't a player. It's really coming down to Kenny Pickett or Dillon Gabriel. I want to stress something about this. I was told by somebody in the building that ain't a player. Okay? It's coming down to Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett. That just reinforces my little theory that every person who plays football seems to be fond of Shedeur Sanders. Every person not playing football seems to have a problem with Shedeur Sanders. I don't know, dog. Let's hear it.
I feel like Flacco probably has his spot reserved, and then it's going to be 3 for 2. So you got those 3 young guys competing for the 2 spots, and I would say, based off of Gabriel, where he was picked, based off of the ability, and I go back to, it seems like a million years ago in Green Bay, but I mean, Shedeur was my 20th player. He's a first-round caliber player. Like, talent-wise, both those guys, I think, have a huge advantage over Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett has to be light years better than each of them to make the team. To me, I think Joe Flacco is just in case they don't feel like they can be competent at the position, then you insert Joe. I think their week 1 starter is going to be, I think it's going to be one of those 2 rookies. I really feel that way.
So, a different tune there, right? But you see, this was June 23rd, and this is from Rich Eisen. not Rich Eisen specifically, but this is Daniel Jeremiah. He's an analyst and he does some things. And 2 things there. I think it's clear to see, right, because people like gaslighting you. And shout out to the Buffalo on X. Go follow him. He does Shedeur stuff, XYZ. I like shouting it. Oh yeah, and the dogs, by the way. We're gonna read this quote too before we actually watch the clip. They do great stuff. The podcast is great. We watch clips from them. Make sure you follow them. They do great stuff if you're a Browns fan. Regardless, going back to what I'm saying, 2 parts. First part, it's a little bit of a Shedeur stab. It's like, hey man, there's another analyst telling you that Shedeur Sanders was in his top 20 players. First round caliber at the worst, 2nd round pick. I didn't say that. I'm not coming up with this. I'm not glazing Shedeur. And by the way, people talk about bias. I am biased towards Shedeur. I don't but I'm going to be honest about it. I am biased towards Shedeur. That's why I bring in these counterpoints.
Shut up.
That's why I open
Shut him up. Shut him up, dog. God, y'all be letting this dude.
Am I wearing the same thing? Oh no, it's Adidas. Okay. Adidas shirt. That's the plane. All right. I gotta switch up the hat or something, dog. Huh? You know what? I'm doing a Texas hat. I'm doing a Texas video. So let me switch to my Texas hat. How about that? I gotta get in character, dog. Some of y'all think I'm bald. What's it called? I am not bald yet. It's not going what? But no, I just have a large forehead and I don't have a lineup right now. So that's why I protect my head at all costs. I don't have long hair though. I used to have I had medium long hair. I didn't have long hair. It's not important. Nobody asked. All right, get this dude off my screen. Last video because I'm kind of pooped and I gotta edit some of these. Jeez Louise. RG3 was trolling Shedeur before crazy. Yeah, which I think is interesting that he's like now, kind of being there for him almost, when we did that thing earlier. So that's dope. All right, let's talk about gosh darn what's it called? Arch Manning. Arch Manning is the next Joe Burrow. No. Arch Manning is the Josh Allen. No, he's not the next Josh Allen. Arch Manning is the next Josh Allen mixed with Joe Burrow. Sprinkle some Patrick Mahomes on there and add a little more wiggle to him. And then you got this 6'4" Damon that's going to lead my Texas Longhorns to an SEC championship. Anyway, look, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about a little bit of the hype that has been generated with Arch Manning, but more importantly, the Manning passing camp. Because what we got to see is Arch Manning, not the first time throwing with these quarterbacks, but the first time that Arch Manning gets to throw with some of the best quarterbacks in the nation at the Manning passing camp as the leader, the bona fide QB1 of my burnt orange Texas Longhorns. All right, so we're going to hop in here, watch a few clips. We got Cade Klubnik spinning. You got John Mateer on the Sooners. How dare y'all allow the Sooners to have a competent cornerback and running back? We got problems, okay? I'm scared. We got Mateer. We got Cade Klubnik, who gave us a scare in the playoffs, as well as a few more quarterbacks that we're going to get into. We're going to watch a few things from Arch Manning when it comes to his media availability. But first things first, gotta watch some football, right? Let's watch him sling it a little bit. And also, he's out there helping too. He's got his hands up for the youngins.
Hey, feet were good.
And people were mad because Arch Manning is walking like a zombie, and Eli Manning, who's like 37 years old, is drenched in sweat, jumping up and down. But I would also say that y'all, if you're going to be mad at him for walking him down, you should also see that he, wait. What does he do right here? He's helping, right, and showing them, boom, how the process is. So come on, man, don't try to paint everything. And there's Cade Klubnik. Which I didn't think Cade Klubnik was a coffee guy. I didn't think he would be but I thought being a Clemson guy, I thought he would just walk around with like a can of dip. You feel me? I just thought it. And look at Peyton's on that. Hey, what are you doing, son? This is.
Let's go, GLD.
I forgot who that was. That was another.
There you go.
Okay.
It's hard to throw side arm and then get it high, right? Try to get on that feet, get high.
Okay.
Nice, good ball.
Oh, lefty.
He's locked in.
Okay.
Oh, Oregon guy. Okay. That's not Dante Moore though, right?
As it retreat. Yeah, right. Better. Good turn.
Okay, well, he does not look like he wants to be there. No, Arch Manning looks like he wants to be anywhere but there. But he did get a chance to spin it. We're about to actually, let's just get right in there. Let's go right there. And we can see him operate. And something that really stands out to me is the lower half. I know we should probably say pause to this, but the lower half, not only smoothness and composure, and again, we were watching Quinn Ewers with a destroyed oblique and destroyed ankle, so maybe that's another thing, just being kind of grace, but to see the confidence and poise in the lower half too, right? It's not just, hey, the speed, the fluidity of the lower half, but it's that, hey, I'm confident at the top of this drop, right? I do this with confidence. I'm looking with confidence. I'm looking to strike right now, right? I get to my hitch, and I mean, cool. Hey, man, y'all cannot believe the Arch Manning hype all you want. Golly, that thing come out there, boy. Now, again, he holds the ball a little low for me, but man, does that thing get up and go, huh? He just torques the throws a goddamn laser, and this motherfucker dropped the ball. Oh man, he is looking absolutely great. He can just flick the ball. That was kind of almost like a sidearm. You can see him kind of torque down. He can throw like bombs too, and I think that's the biggest thing. And here is Arch Manning, Cade Klubnik, Sam Levitt was there too. Sam Levitt was the other guy, other dog there. John Mateer, they're all gonna throw some balls here. Let's watch. Here's Cade, Clemson quarterback. A lot of people think one of the better quarterbacks in the nation coming up to this year. I have to agree. Drops a big bomb. This dude pull his hamstring or something? What happened there? John Mateer. I'm hoping we do terrible things, but this guy is really good at football. As you can see, he is really good at football. Sam Levitt, another guy who I hope we don't have to play again, because he is really, really good at football. He's like 6'4". He's like more slender. He's like Avery Johnson-ish, but longer, and I think a little more built. And he can make a lot of those passes. And again, that confidence in the step. Woo! Look at how he ripped that thing. Can y'all catch the? Hey, it's called the Manning Passing Academy, dog. We gotta make the kid look good. But did you see that thing? Look how he rips that thing. Yeah, I don't know who these receivers. These is like the most unathletic. The last dude who John Mateer, whoever who threw, no, Sam Levitt. I forgot who it was that threw to. I swear to God, he threw to a tight end. This dude's fade looks worse than mine right now, and that's saying a lot. And he probably lost it in the lights, to be honest with you. But I mean, dog, you're right there. You take 2 steps and you got that. You know what I'm saying? That's not. You know what I'm saying? Am I doing too much? Am I glazing too much? Am I coping? But that thing, whoo. Hey man, I feel like he can sling it there. I feel like he can sling it. Here's the other side of that dig. Again, I'm not coping on this one. This one is like legit. It's the same dude. Okay, no, he's a Texas A&M. This dude's a Texas A&M guy, huh? He's in the cult, right? He's in the 12-man cult. Yeah, I see it. Trying to make my glorious king look bad. Now, speaking on football, because we're gonna get into some other throws. I think this is a really dope perspective from Peyton Manning of all people. This dude, this Super Bowl MVP, at one point career leader season leader in passing touchdowns. I believe career leader in passing touchdowns at one point. He's gonna talk about the amazing people that have come through the Manning Passing Academy. Which I think is great. Because, again, like, dog, you're Peyton Manning. But let's hear
the fact that Tyler Shuck has been here as a camper, as a counselor for 2 years, and now he's back telling all these guys what he learned, in his first mini camp in the NFL. That's just invaluable. And so, yeah, and it's fun to see guys that have, I played with, and their sons are here at the camp, and it's amazing how many, people have been through here. So we're proud of that, and proud of the people that have been through it as workers, as counselors, as campers. It's been pretty cool.
And Peyton, the quarterback position is one that physical tools can dominate, but what are some things that intangibly you try to instill in some of these young athletes and quarterbacks?
Yeah, obviously, look, as a quarterback, you're kind of naturally in a leadership position. So, kind of how your voice inflection at the line of scrimmage, how you call the snap count, and, just sort of some real leadership kind of roles there that are naturally, part of a quarterback. I think those apply to life skills or whatnot. So, just accountability, right? Football. We have meetings staff meetings. We have Q&A sessions that start at 8 o'clock. Like let's be there on time at 7:55, right? So I think you just learn some good life skills at a good football camp, and it just helps you down the road.
Texas has been absolutely. And I think that's dope. Again, it seems very rudimentary. Again, especially to people who have been watching football for a long time. But just a simple, hey, quarterback's got to be this type of guy. He's got to be a guy, and if he's not a guy, then we got problems, guy. Let's watch a few more throws, and then we will again finish it off with Arch Manning's media availability. Kind of yap about a few things, and then go from there. But some more throws. We got Cade Klubnik dropping this ball in the bucket. Happy that this kid is in the SEC, and we only have to see him if we play in the playoffs. Okay, he literally dropped it in a bucket. Okay, that's what you meant. Okay, well, that's fire. First throw. That's easy. That's smooth. I like it. You know what I'm saying? Not easy, but you know what I mean. University of Washington quarterback, QBD Wood. I don't know this dude. I need to look this guy up. Let's see if he wins the final competition of the Friday Night Lights portion of the Manning Passing Academy. Let's see what he does. Okay. Oh.
17.
Oh.
22.
Okay.
27. 27.
Hey. Hey, man, there's nothing better than, you compete with people, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you did your thing, man. You did your thing. Wait, someone in my comments is saying that Shedeur is built like a black Peyton Manning. Y'all wildin'. Jonas Doyle, hey, y'all wildin' over there in the comments. But that's dope to see. Last set of throws here. You got the Nussmeier. A lot of people are high on Nussmeier. Now, this is crazy. I'm going to preface what I'm about to say by the last time I said this about an LSU quarterback, his name was Joe Burrow, and he became, a national champion, Heisman, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if you heard of him. But Garrett Nussmeier is a guy that people are so high on. People love his anticipatory throwing ability. They love his, ball placement, X, Y, Z. I think he's the overhype. If you're going to talk about Arch Manning, this is the person that I think is being put up a little too much hype, in my personal, humble opinion. But I don't think you can deny that the kid can spin it. So let's see him. Oh, okay. You're going to put, what is all that? I mean, that thing is tight. It's long. It's big. I mean, Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer. I hate that he's good, but you can't deny that this kid's good. And he drops a softball. Okay, nice. Arizona State Sam Levitt. He layers one. Boom, a little duckish, but smooth. Gio Lopez from North Carolina. Oh, I didn't know he was a lefty. Got some comebacks here. Some dude named Arch Manning sticks that thing in. Woo! Yes, sir. There we go. Missouri quarterback Bo Perbula. He was a former Penn State guy. He was the one that not in trouble, but everybody made the big hoopla because he transferred during the playoffs, and he actually had. I mean, y'all, we got to catch the balls, son. Right? We got to catch the dang balls. But yeah, lefties are definitely weird. Savage Gala says Arch Manning has done nothing except score on Texas A&M. And if you're a real Texas fan, you know that anytime you contribute to making god dang burgundy crybaby Colt boys cry that there's positive things happen. So that's a phenomenal thing. I love that. I love that he did that. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and end this with some of what Arch Manning had to say at the Manning Passing Academy. And then we'll wrap this thing up, put a bow on it.
What's it be like to see all the guys in your home state doing their thing?
It's good. Anytime you come back to Louisiana, the people are so good here, the food's good, so it's fun being back.
You talk about this being like a family reunion for the family. Yeah, what is it like to see the uncles and, of course, pops and grandfather?
Yeah, it's funny. Like we all rally around this camp every summer, and it's cool being back with all the guys. We're not around each other that much anymore. They got families, and I'm busy, so it's fun being around all at once.
Yeah, you've been traveling up in St. Louis.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Well, just tell me about. Of course, you blew up on social media. Did you expect that to happen? And
I didn't expect that to happen. Yeah, I guess that's everything these days. But it was fun. I went with Wingo and his camp, with some other teammates. It was cool. I was saying earlier, Wingo's a legend down there. So all those kids wanted to be just like him. It was cool to see.
Yeah, Sark said you texted him, and so you could see exactly what it was like. From outside looking into Wingo's, you kind of just touched on it, but what is it about Wingo's neighborhood that kind of was just like, wow, this is really cool?
Yeah, and he's got his whole family and neighborhood rallying around him. He's got a good support group. It was really cool to see. And I'm fired up for him. He's going to have a good year.
Yeah, you came to Texas to develop, right? And so I'm interested to know, 2 years now, where have you developed on the field, but more so like off the field as a man? Where have you developed?
I think, I've developed a lot just under Sark's system and offense. Then as a man, just trying to control what I can control, not worried about what other people think, just playing my game, having fun with the fellas, and that's all you really can do.
You mentioned stuff about social media and stuff, and people always have cameras. I mean, how careful are you to just not go out and, I don't know, do shots at a bar, like be great, because everybody could spin it some way.
I'm 21, so I can do shots at a bar.
Right. But, so it would have been worse a year ago.
Yeah, that's right. But we're busy half the time, so a lot of the time I'm just kicking it with my friends at home and focused on ball right now. That's what I love to do. All that other stuff is fun, but it's not my ideal time.
In that interview with Marty, you mentioned how it was kind of tough when you got benched after playing well, the first 2 games. I'm interested to know, who did you lean on? What did you lean on mentally to get you through those times after having success on the field?
Yeah, I think through everything I lean on my faith first and foremost, and then just continue to do what I do, develop and take things from Quinn, and when I get my chance to go, make the most of it.
Hey, Arch, recently I talked to Coach Ed Toohey from Newman, and he spoke about just your humility. How are you able to speak about your ability to keep a level head through maybe all of the attention and or scrutiny that you receive?
Yeah, I think I got good friends, good family, my brother, all those people to keep me honest and tell me when I'm acting like a jerk or being cocky, and so they've been really good to me, and I think that's the main thing.
And as you do enter a season in which maybe the highlight is mainly on you, what would you say is your mindset going into the season?
It's 11 guys on the field, so it's really not just about me at all. We got a good defense, good special teams, and a good offense, so it's about the team, and we're excited for this year.
If you could play with any Longhorn legend, who would it be?
Longhorn legend. I wanted to play with Bijan. I saw him during recruiting. He was so explosive.
That's a good one.
It would have been fun to play with him.
That's a good
one. It would have been electric. Pre-game playlist? Who are you listening to?
I don't use earphones or headphones, whatever they're called. And I don't wear sunglasses on the walk. My dad didn't want me to, so I just listen to the music in the stadium.
2 a.m. Can't go to sleep. You want to throw the ball. Who you calling?
2 a.m. Can't go to sleep. Who am I calling? I'm going to call Wingo and DeAndre Moore.
Okay.
They gonna be up?
Yeah, they might be up.
Hey, the wide receiver is gonna be up. DeAndre Moore. A lot of people are saying Ryan Wingo is the guy, and I think Ryan Wingo is gonna be the guy for the Longhorns. But DeAndre Moore is a guy, so don't, you know what I'm saying? So don't sleep on him, because I think he's gonna be the dirty work wide receiver that he was last year, but just take it to that next level, get more touches, and really find some more explosion. But yeah, that's all we got today. Give me your hottest Arch Manning take in the comments. Mine is that Arch Manning is gonna go for back-to-back Heismans and then say, hey, fuck it, I still got another year of eligibility. He going to play for 7 years at the University of Texas and win 17 national championships. Now, is that a little far-fetched? I don't know. But let me know down below what you think the Texas Longhorns are going to do. Do you believe in the Arch Manning hype? Has he done anything in your eyes? Like this video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't like it. Subscribe if you enjoy football content of all shapes, sizes, forms, and fashions. Be great. Continue to be great. Thank you for your support. And we'll see you next time. Peace. All right. All right. All right. All right. Gotta be honest with you. Gonna shut this thing down. He's still growing and definitely has a frame to grow into. Seems more like Andrew Luck as a projection. Ooh, Andrew Luck. Jonas Doyle, Andrew Luck. I think that's a good one. I think Andrew Luck is a good comparison. But that's it for this stream, man. We how many videos we did? We did one. Oh, we didn't do the CFB 26 video. We'll wait for that one. We'll do that one another time. We did 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, four is decent. 4 is decent. But yeah, I appreciate y'all rocking and hanging with me, man. Trying to get some more streams going, trying to do some more different things, make them a little more exciting. So I appreciate y'all being here, making them exciting. It's important. Be phenomenal. Be great. And